Meine Häusen ist gefallen.
All right, get out of here.
What?
All right,
What's going
this
on?
is ended. That guy's queer than the blazes. He took his clothes off. Let's get going.
2009's Bruno was something that I remember always being very disappointing. I was a huge fan of Borat, and so going into Bruno, I had pretty high expectations, and to this day, this is still the only film that the ticket salesman tried to talk me and my friend out of. We walked up and asked for 2 tickets. She said, "Are you sure? A lot of people have been leaving left and right out of this movie. I heard it's really bad. You should probably see something else." Me and my friend said, "No, this is what we want to see." So we got our tickets, went in and saw it, and I remember us leaving saying to both of each other, we probably should have listened to her. Years later, I found myself at Dollar Tree thumbing through a bunch of dollar Blu-rays and came across Bruno. For a little while now, I've been kind of interested in revisiting Bruno. I'm a huge fan of Sacha Baron Cohen, and I love a lot of his films and a lot of his performances, so I was really confused on what went wrong with Bruno for me. Took the film home, popped it in, and ended up laughing hysterically at it. I had a drastically different reaction to the film as opposed to when I first saw it. The film follows Sacha Baron Cohen as a flamboyant gay Austrian named Bruno.
What's up? I'm Bruno.
As he comes to America and tries to become famous, a lot of things fail for him, so he keeps doing all these wacky situations to become more famous, and it's all kind of a hidden camera prank style movie. A lot of it, the people are in on the joke, and it's pretty clever. Getting a bunch of mothers during a casting calls, admitting they'll do horrible things to make a profit off their children, is unnerving and yet hilarious all at the same time.
Little sensitive subject here. How much does she weigh?
She's about 30 pounds.
30 pounds?
Yes, approximately.
Can Olivia lose 10 pounds since the next week?
The next week, 7 days. Yeah, I'd have to do whatever I could.
If there's a problem losing the weight, would you be ready to have Olivia undergo liposuction?
If that was the last resort and she didn't lose the few pounds, then yeah, we'd have to do that.
I can't believe the difference in reaction that I had to this film as opposed to when I first saw it in 2009. And I think a lot of that is because a lot of the humor may have flown over my head as a kid. I would have been about 15 at the time when I saw Bruno, and I wasn't as in tune with politics or being a huge film nerd that I am now, as in tune with Hollywood and the whole fame industry as a whole. And so I think honestly a lot of the humor just kind of whizzed over my head. I remember seeing this film in 2009 thinking it was really boring and unfunny. I think this movie is absolutely hilarious. Such a drastic difference in the reaction. I mean, film as a whole, such a drastic reaction is why you should really watch films a second time, I think. There's plenty of films where the first time around I wasn't very invested or was kind of disappointed in it, and upon a second or even a third viewing, grew to appreciate the film even more and more. Another prime example of that is Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is definitely a film that I know a lot of people don't care as much for, but I've seen the film 4 times now, and while I don't think it's a masterpiece, in all honesty, there's something I've gained more and more from each time I've seen the movie. There's a lot of things that go in a factor of how you react to a movie the first time you see it. Expectations, emotional state, personal life, or even the theater crowd that you're in can all affect your overall look and outcome of the movie, and I think sometimes that can cloud or get in the way of a film. Now, I'm not saying every movie you dislike you should watch a second time because you'll love it. I know another film for me would be Under the Skin, which was a film that when I first saw it, I appreciated it for a lot of its technical prowess, but felt rather disappointed at everybody calling the film a masterpiece. Upon a second viewing, I'm leaning more toward the masterpiece side now. There's a lot more things that kind of clicked with me and a lot more things I appreciated with the film. And there's a lot of the times that film will do that. I think when you watch it a second point and your expectation of that film is gone, you kind of pick up more on what the film is. Like I said, I definitely don't think you should go out and rewatch every movie you disliked, but for some reason there's always going to be these movies that, even if they are bad, it's going to stick with you and going to make you question, what went wrong with it, and may garner a second viewing that you'll enjoy much more. The reason why I centered this video more around Bruno as opposed to something else is because Bruno was a movie that I hated and now end up loving. It was such a stark contrast between opinions and reaction that it really kind of floored me after watching it a second time. Under the Skin was something I still appreciated, and Sucker Punch as well, so watching them a second or even a third, fourth time, there wasn't this drastic Grand Canyon leap like Bruno had. I went from literally hating the movie and always down-talking it to now recommending it to people. Which is crazy to think about, that your opinion and your views on something like this can change so drastically over time. From different life experiences or different emotional states or anything like that, that film can have that kind of impact on you and make you reevaluate your feelings on a piece of work. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Bruno is a masterpiece, as Stanley Kubrick is rolling over in his grave because he couldn't direct Bruno, but it's definitely not a horrible movie. There are flaws with it, for sure, but overall, the film is really enjoyable and has some really hilarious moments in it. One of my all-time favorites is actually when Sacha Baron Cohen breaks character during the military scene.
Do you have an attitude candidate? Do we detect an attitude?
Everything we do,
attitude.
She's got an attitude.
What?
Sir,
What?
Officer Candidate, you just called me she.
Get down, candidate. Do it now.
He's such a good character actor to be in all these situations and still be composed and be the character he is. To me, it's hilarious to see him kind of break face a little bit. Getting mothers to do horrible things to their children for profit, to strip down in front of Ron Paul, or to have Paula Abdul sit on top of Mexican workers. I mean, there's a lot of really funny and clever bits of humor that he gets away with in this film. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up why I think you should watch movies a second time. You may go from hating something to absolutely loving something, which is something great, I think.